What's up, everybody, and welcome back to 3-Sided Fox Predictions, and you're here for the NFL Week 16. Yes, Week 16. Second last week of the season already. Holy shit, what the... Where did it all go? I'm your host, David. I am going solo dolo today as Michael caught my cold, so I am feeling much better. Just my ears still a little bit blocked up, but everything else is A-okay. For all you guys who are new or don't know, but all the picks are down below in the description. So click on show more, click on your time for the specific matchup you want to be a part of, you want to hear, and everything's there. So with that, let's jump into the first matchup of the week. We got some Saturday games. No Thursday night football. We got the Indianapolis Colts heading to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Colts are out. So, simple pick. I'm going to give it to the Ravens. They're fighting still for a playoff spot, and they're a pretty solid team, and we all know how the Colts are just in complete disarray. Franchise is in turmoil, and a lot needs to be done to change. The Ravens are kind of in limbo now. They're good, but they're not good enough. It's just sad because I think they could be a really good team. They're a pretty good organization. They got a good head coach and a pretty solid quarterback and a great receiver in J-Mac. So, yeah, I got the Ravens this week. Let's move on to the next game. Alright, next up we got the other purple team. We got the Vikings heading into Green Bay to play the Packers, NFC North matchup. Vikings have clinched the division. Packers recently again shut down Aaron Rodgers. Basically their playoffs hopes are done. But I'm going to give it to the Packers this week because I think the Vikings are going to take it easy and the Packers are playing for pride. And it would help out the Eagles a lot too. And it's in Lambeau. And at this time of year, on Christmas time, it's pretty fucking cold. So, yeah, I got the Packers winning a close one though. Next game. Alright, back on Sunday matchups. We got the Lions heading into Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Lions still fighting for that last playoff spot. Bengals done. Terrible season. Marvin Lewis announced he's leaving at the end of the year. Typical, quits before he gets fired, basically. So with that Lions, man, they got everything to play for, and the Bengals have absolutely nothing. Simple pick, and the Lions are a pretty solid team, and the Bengals are definitely not. So, easy pick, Lions. Next game. Alright, next up we got the Dolphins heading into Kansas City for the Chiefs. Chiefs, that division's up for grabs, basically. I mean, it is basically there because the Raiders and the Broncos, the Raiders and the Chiefs, Raiders and the Chargers. All the CHs are throwing me off. Still something to fight for, but I think the Chiefs, they got an easy opponent this week. I mean, they did beat the Patriots, but again, fluke, and it's a divisional matchup, so I mean, anything is possible in those matchups, but let's be honest, they're not going to go into Kansas City and win. So, Chiefs for me. Next game. Alright, next up we got the Bills heading into New England to play the Patriots. It's that time of year again where Buffalo just decides to play like shit, although they have won, I believe, the last two. Sean McCoy is, basically, playing lights out like he always does, and the Bills are hoping to make the playoffs for the first time since they went to the Super Bowl and lost 4 straight. So, with that, I'm not going to pick them to win. I think that trend will continue, and the Patriots will continue their dominance and go into the playoffs on a good note with some W's. So, with 2 weeks left, I think they're going to start off with the Bills, and, it's an opponent they know well, and Tom Brady's going to have a good day. So, Patriots. Next game. Alright, next up we got the Cleveland Browns, the winless Browns, heading to the great city Chicago, play the Bears. Bears have been one... Excuse me, still have an itchy throat. I've been one of those teams that just mostly suck, but they've had their moments where they've looked good. And the Browns are the Browns. So with that, I'm picking the Bears to win. I really hope the Browns go in 0-16. Sucks for the fans, sucks for the players, but it's pretty poetic that the worst team maybe ever is going to tie, obviously because you can't break the record yet, at least until they make 18 games, but tie the record of worst season ever with the Lions from 07 or 08, whatever it was. So yeah, Bears going to take it this week. Next game. Alright, so now we have an NFC South matchup. We got the Bucks heading into Carolina to play the Panthers. who are doing well on the field, sort of, but off the field, the whole thing with their owner is just crazy. But regardless, the Bucs have absolutely nothing to play for. They're done, and the Panthers have a lot of pressure on them because they're probably not going to win the division, even though it's still up for grabs. And the NFC wildcard race is pretty tight. So I'm going to give it to the Panthers just because I feel like they got a little bit more to play with, and they're having a pretty solid year. And the Bucs are just another team that, kind of like the Bengals, just need to hit that reset button and just rethink their whole whatever. So Panthers, next game. Alright, next we got same division, different teams. We got the Falcons heading to New Orleans to play the Saints, basically for the division. Pretty crazy matchup. I'm gonna give it to the Saints. They're at home. They're playing, even though they have some championship players left from that run a few years back. Drew Brees, obviously, and Sean Payton, their coach, and I'm sure maybe there's others that I don't know. It's mostly very new for them, and I think because of that they're gonna want to play and clinch it out and win their division, and not play as a wild card team, because then you're gonna have to play on the road basically the whole way through, and Atlanta kind of having that one of those weird sophomore Super Bowl seasons where you kind of play. Mind you, they've been playing well lately, so anything's possible. I'm going to give the edge to the Saints this week. I like the Saints, and I think they're going to do well and win the division. Next game. Next up, we got Michael's division rival, Denver Broncos, heading into Washington to play my division rivals, the Redskins. Easy pick. Broncos. Why? Redskins suck. No, I don't know. Broncos are one of those teams that their defense is finally getting solved. Their quarterback situation is just horrible. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's starting. And Washington does have a little bit more of a stable team, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're out of the playoff race, and obviously so is Denver, so it's basically a relevant bowl. But I'm going to give it to the Broncos just because I feel like it's going to cause even more controversy if they win and their quarterback has a good game. It's going to be weird. So, Broncos for me. Next game. Next up, we got the LA Rams heading into Tennessee to play the Titans. Could have been the battle of Jeff Fisher's two former teams. I mean, it kind of is, but he's obviously not involved with it at all. I'm going to give it to the Rams. They want to go into the playoffs winning. They've lost. They lost to us, and they killed the Seahawks last week, and I think that trend's going to continue, and they're going to have a big game against the Titans. They were pissed off that they lost to us. They proved that they're a good team, and it's going to be very interesting. See how the Rams do in the playoffs, because I like that team. I like Sean McVay. I like where they're heading. A lot of good pieces there, and they're going to be a good team going forward. And it'd be nice to see an Eagles-Rams rivalry, considering Goff and Wentz went 1-2, and they're young quarterbacks. It'd be nice to see them basically lead the next generation of NFL quarterbacks. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to the Rams this week. Next game. Alright, next up we got the Chargers heading into New York to play the Jets. Chargers having a pretty surprising year, but mind you, their division is terrible. And the Jets are also having a pretty surprising year. Not doing that great, but doing a lot better than people expected them to. People thought they would be by far the worst team this year, and they've definitely not having been even close to that. So, with that, I'm going to give it to the Chargers. They got a lot more to play for, as I keep saying throughout all these picks. But it's that time of year where these are the important matchups. And the important games that you want to, either carry momentum into the playoffs or obviously hope to make the playoffs. And the Jets are definitely not making the playoffs this year. So, Chargers for me, but a close one. Because I don't think the Chargers are that great anyways, even though they're playing pretty well. So, next game. Alright, so next up we got a matchup that definitely would have been considered a relevant bowl not too long ago. Maybe a year or two ago. We got the Jags and the Niners in San Fran. Niners have been playing pretty well lately. The last couple of games, Garoppolo seems to have changed a bit of the hope behind that franchise. But the Jags, my God, who expected that kind of year out of that team? Blake Bortles not the greatest quarterback, but having a pretty solid year, and their defense playing lights out for the most part. So I gotta give it to the Jags, man. They want to go into the playoffs hot. They clinched a division, first time in many years that they've won it. And I think it's going to be something special with them. they can get the quarterback thing fixed or at least solidified a little bit more, they could be very dangerous. So Jags, next game. Alrighty, next up we got the Seahawks at the Cowboys. Both fighting for playoff spot. I don't know what the odds are, both of them making it. I like the Seahawks, even though they got killed, man, last week. I don't know what happened, but I wish that was the team that showed up when the Eagles showed up in Seattle, because that was disgusting. Todd Gurley literally ran like a muck on them. It was disgusting. But I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win. Even though Zeke is coming back this week, I really do think Seattle's going to take it. They know what they're playing for. They know how to win. Dallas, fuck the Cowboys, man. I don't know what else to say. It sounds biased. It is biased, but I don't really care. Seattle, man, I like them. So, Seahawks for me. Next game. Alright, no Sunday Night Football, but this is the last Sunday game. We got the Giants at the Cardinals. Two teams that hugely has been disappointing this year. Giants put up a fight last week against my team, but let's be honest, it's because it's a divisional thing. The NFC East, I've said it for years, even way before I started this channel, and I'm sure you could go back and hear me say it at some point over the last 3 seasons. But basically, the Eagles could be, or any team in the division could be 15-0, facing another team within the division that is 0-15. The team that has no wins will kill the team with all the wins, and forget about the rest of the start bullshit. That's just how the NFC East is, and most division rivalries games are. So that's why last week happened. Let's be honest. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals to win this one. They're at home. Nothing much else to say about that. The Giants suck. The Cardinals suck this year. Cards for me. Next game. Alright, for the first Monday matchup, afternoon, Christmas Day. Steelers at Texans. Could have been a very good matchup, but a lot of injuries to the Texans, and they, you know, they're saying that Bill O'Brien's on the hot seat, not the greatest coach, blah, 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 blah. It's definitely not the matchup we could have had. Antonio Brown out for the Steelers. So, yeah, I'm still going to give it to the Steelers. Texans are not the team that they could have been or will be going forward again next year. But Steelers riding hot. They want to go into the playoffs with momentum. I've said it a million times, not like a broken record. But that's the reality of this time of year. Texans are decimated with injuries. And they don't got much to play for. And however, this is the time where, you know, spoilers happen, and you know the underdog takes the wins because of, you know, not playing all your starters and not playing with that much because you've already won the division, blah blah blah. But I think after the losses to the Patriots last week that the Steelers had and how it happened, plus losing Antonio Brown, they got a bit of a fire underneath them, and I think they're gonna come out on top and take this one. So Steelers for me. Next game. All right, for the last Monday Night Football game of the year. And my matchup, our matchup, but Michael's not here. Bam, 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 bam. The Oakland Raiders are heading to the city of brotherly love to face my Philadelphia Eagles. The rule on this show, if you guys don't know, is whoever's team is playing we cannot pick it if it's our favorite team. So I can't pick. Michael's a Raider fan. He can't pick, so I can't send it off to him in sick land upstairs. So basically, there is no prediction for this matchup, but you obviously know who each of us want to win, which is basically what we end up picking anyways, who we want versus who we think, because we're biased idiots. However, I will give you a rant as I always do, so stay tuned for that. So basically, Nick Foles had a pretty solid game last week against the Giants, 4 touchdowns. Yes, we were playing the Giants, big deal, but again, it was a lot closer of a matchup than people anticipated, mostly because our defense shit the bed, but again, NFC East matchups. Nick Foles, I have confidence in him. Last time he played the Raiders, 7 touchdowns in 3 quarters. Tied NFL record. So, is he going to do it again? Probably not. However, we're a better coach. We have a better team than we did 4 years ago with Chip Kelly. And we're playing a Raiders team that lost a heartbreaker because Derek Carr couldn't hold on to the football, amongst many other things that he did really bad because that guy's a bitch. And basically, it's going to be an interesting matchup. This was the matchup me and Michael were supposed to go to Philly for instead of the one where we went to go watch Chicago. But of course, it's on Christmas Day, so we couldn't go. I really do hope the Eagles defense steps up, because if we do and we shut down their team, even though their offense is struggling and they might not have Cooper, it's confidence. It's confidence, man. So hopefully going into the last game and the playoffs, it's going to help the defense build some confidence. And I believe in our offense. I'm not too worried about our offense. Especially against their defense. It's not that great. Mind you, Khalil Mack could have a crazy game, but we'll see what happens. Because our O-line is a bit injury-riddled right now. But I believe in our offense. It's more defense that kind of bothers me. I don't want... they really bothered me last week against the Giants. I really, really hope that they get their shit together. And I think they will, because Jim Schwartz, the great defensive coordinator. Malcolm Jenkins had a bad few last games. And I think he's going to bounce back. If there's ever been a time to bounce back, it's now. You're playing the lowly Raiders on prime time, Christmas Day. And if we win, we clinch the NFC, #1 seed. So there's a lot to play for still for us. And the Raiders are fighting for a playoff spot too, so they're going to come at us hard. They're not officially eliminated yet. So there's a lot of shit to play for, man. There's a lot of stuff to play for. I can't speak on behalf of the Raiders because I don't watch them that much, but I'm sure Michael would basically say how shit the offense have been to kill the coordinators. The defense is playing like crap. Get rid of all the coaching staff, yada, yada, yada. Derek Carr's a bitch. So, for me, on behalf of how I see my Eagles, the offense needs to keep the ball rolling and the defense needs to step up because... last week was pathetic, and we can't allow that again. And they got a team that could do that because they're not terrible on paper. They're just playing bad this year for whatever reason. So fly Eagles fly, hopefully. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Smash that like button. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't. Write your comments with your picks down below. We love to hear what you guys have to say. Enjoy the games ahead, guys. Enjoy your Christmas. Be safe. Have fun. Spend time with your family and your loved ones. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, just be happy. It's a good time of the year. You know the weather sucks, especially if you're living, in the colder areas like we do here in Montreal. So enjoy, guys. Thank you so much. All the best to you and your families, and we'll see you all for the last week of the NFL season next week. And we'll see you then, guys. Take care and enjoy the games.